Hello, welcome to Mindset Monday. I'm so excited to share this topic with you today because it's one that we talk about a lot inside our program, but that I'm realizing I don't talk about enough in the rest of the world, and especially with you, our trusty tribe. I want you to know about this. And once you know about this part of your mind, this aspect of who you are, of your consciousness, you can actually start to create massive change very quickly in your life. So today we're going to be talking about your superconscious and the superconscious, what it is, what it does for you, and how you can use it to create more change more quickly and with very little effort so that you're actually creating a life that you love. Are you excited? Are you like, what is she talking about? This is so weird. Hang with me. I'm going to be talking about some things that might sound a little woo, they might sound a little out there, but all of this, most of this, is backed with science. So hang with me as we journey through your conscious. Okay? So your mind has three aspects. There's three aspects to your consciousness. The first is your self-conscious. Your self-conscious is the critical thinking part of your brain. It's your main personality. It's the place where thoughts where it's the part of your brain that you're probably the most aware of. It's your conscious thoughts about things. It's also known as your ego, which is not a bad thing. Your ego keeps you alive. Your ego is the part of you, your self-conscious, that wants new experiences and new adventures and sets goals and wants certain things out of life, whether that's your business goals or your health, relationships, your personal or spiritual growth. It's a really healthy part of us when we are in tune with it. And it's a really essential part of us. If we didn't have our self-conscious, our ego, this part of us that is always seeking, then we'd probably all still be living in caves, right? But at some point, someone was like, what's outside this cave? Oh yeah, well, what if we put 4 walls up and a roof? And what if we planted something in the ground? Like, this is part of our human experience, that we all have a self-conscious that's wondering, that's thinking, that's creating, that's wanting new experiences. Okay. Then we have our subconscious, which is the thing we talk quite a bit about here, right? Your subconscious is about 99% of your mind. Your self-conscious is about 1%. The subconscious is just a soldier. It just follows direction. It is all about patterns, repetition. It just replicates the instructions it's been given. Its purpose is to keep you alive and safe. It runs all of your body systems. It runs all, like, cell division, hormone release, beats your heart, breathes your lungs. Like, it just wants you to survive. It doesn't have an orientation of what's good for you or bad for you. It doesn't care. It just follows the direction it's been given. It just replicates what it knows to be true that keeps you alive. So if you are, like, generally worried or anxious, you might not want to be that way, but at some point your subconscious equated that state of being with you being alive. And now it prefers you in that state of being simply because it thinks, well, if she's stressed, she's alive, right? So it's a very, very powerful part of the mind. And then we have the superconscious. And I want you to think of the superconscious. If you have your self-conscious and your subconscious, think of your superconscious as like enveloping everything. Your superconscious, or your innate wisdom, your deepest knowing, your intuition, is what is connected to the universal field of information. So there is information invisible information, this field that surrounds us all. And it's why it's a field of information that we can all tap into. We are all connected to it all the time. Carl Jung called it the collective consciousness. It is something that we have an experience of from our ancestors, from our past, all of the wisdom, the experiences, the emotions, the knowledge that our ancestors have had, both in our family line and in our greater society. All of that is available to us in the field of the superconscious. All of that wisdom, all of that knowledge, all of that learning, but also all of the experiences, the pain, the false beliefs, the events, all of that is available to us. And now the superconscious, we each have our own field that's made up of the information from our family history, from our society, from our community, and we can all tap into it. And why would we want to? What is it? What will it do? We're going to get into that. So you've got your self-conscious. Your ego is like, I want new adventure. Like, I want to grow my business. I want to find a new a romance. I want to run a marathon, right? Your self-conscious is like, has a great idea. Let's go do it, right? Then your subconscious is just running its old patterns. And it's like, I don't know about that. That's new. That's different. We've never done that before. That doesn't compute to the past that we know. The subconscious is linking your thoughts and feelings to all of your past thoughts and feelings, your past experiences, and even to your DNA, the past thoughts, feelings, and experiences of your parents, your grandparents, your family history. And the subconscious is like, I don't know, it's different, it's unfamiliar. Unfamiliar is unsafe, right? It just wants you to keep repeating what you've always been doing. So when we set our intention from our self-conscious, we want this new adventure, we have this thing we want to do. And the subconscious goes, we don't have a pattern for that. We haven't done that before. We don't know if that's going to work. Could be unsafe. Better not do it. And the subconscious starts to pull up fear, doubt, past events, limiting beliefs, negative emotions. It starts throwing up all this resistance between where you want to be and where you are. And unfortunately, what we do most of the time is we focus on the resistance. We focus on the past events, the limiting beliefs, the negative emotions. And it feels big, it feels insurmountable, it feels overwhelming, and we don't take the action. Or if we do take action, it's often from a place of maybe fear or anxiety or scarcity. It's effort instead of ease. So how can we get the two to line up? Because here's what creates the life you want. Is you set an intention from your self-conscious mind, and then your subconscious goes, got it, clear instructions, let's do it. And it just moves you along, and the two are working together towards the outcomes that you want to create. So aligning your self-conscious with your subconscious will bring your thoughts in alignment with your behaviors, right? It will bring you into an aligned being. So oftentimes we're told that in order to get there, in order to get the subconscious to let go of old patterns and follow along with the new instruction, that we have to really dig into the old patterns, that somehow we have to understand the limiting beliefs, where they came from, understand all the past events and those negative emotions. But here's the thing, you could spend your whole freaking lifetime doing that. And will that really get you to where you want to go? It might a little bit, but there's a lot there that you don't even know about. There's stuff that happened generations back in your family. The trauma of those experiences came through your DNA. How can you possibly know what those things are? From your conscious mind, you can't possibly understand that. So in order to release from the subconscious these old patterns, the fastest, easiest, and best way to do that is to not dig into the subconscious and not even analyze it from your self-conscious, but to level up, to go up to this field of the superconscious and ask your intuition, your higher self, this field of information to do the work for you. So when you connect into the superconscious, into your intuition, there's more knowledge there than you're consciously aware of, right? So your subconscious has a perfect record of every experience you've ever had in your life, but most of it gets deleted from your conscious thought because it would be too overwhelming for you. Your superconscious can connect to all of that information and choose to release what you tell it to release. Remember, your subconscious is just a soldier. It will follow whatever direction you give it. So from the field of the superconscious, you can ask the superconscious to remove the resistance from your subconscious. And it's a process that happens like that. It is so much faster, easier, and more effortless than trying to discover and unpack and understand all the resistance that you might have. Every one of us has this ability to tap into it, to listen, and then to ask the superconscious to help realign the subconscious to create more satisfaction in our life, to get the subconscious to stop running old patterns and begin to align with what it is that the self-conscious wants to do. The self-conscious sets the just because outcome. The superconscious gives direction to the subconscious to take the action to create that outcome. I hope this is making sense. I know the first time I heard about the superconscious, I was like, what is this hokey business? Like, I was taught that if I wanted to understand my limiting beliefs, I had to just dig into my subconscious. I had to write it all out. I had to discover when I started that belief, who gave me that belief, how long I've had that belief. But there were beliefs that I had that I didn't know those answers to. I don't know when I first started believing certain things. I don't know who first said it. And even if I did, does that actually change that I believe it? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So instead of focusing on trying to figure all that out, why not move to a higher level of consciousness and simply choose the outcomes that you want, and then ask your intuition, your deeper knowing, your higher self to align your beliefs and your thoughts and your feelings with what it is that you want to create. It seems too simple and too good to be true, but it's not. And we've actually seen this happening in fMRIs. When you are able to choose new thoughts, to choose new feelings, to choose new ways of being, you can actually see in these MRIs, you can see new neurons beginning to fire and wire together to create new beliefs and new thoughts. And you can also see when given the right commands in a state of meditation or even hypnosis, if you're in just a state of deep relaxation and the superconscious is giving the commands to the subconscious, you can actually see neurons disconnect. You can actually see old thoughts stop. You can see that happen. It's amazing. And it's a really powerful process. And once you're tapped into it, once you're tapped into your intuition, into your superconscious, you can do this. Now, it takes a little bit of practice. It takes some instruction. It takes some help to understand what this actually is, because your mind doesn't necessarily need to know it from a detailed intellectual level, but it needs to understand the metaphor of the superconscious. And once you understand that metaphor, then you can begin to use the superconscious as your shortcut, as the shortcut to aligning your self-conscious with your subconscious, so that you as a whole person are moving towards the outcomes that you want to create. It's such a fun field to tap into. And actually, once you know you're tapped into it, once you start creating awareness around the superconscious and you're tapped into this field, you can really begin to use it to your advantage. Not only can you use the superconscious to bring the self and the subconscious into alignment, but you can tap into it to find answers to your questions. You can tap into it to find inspiration, to get new ideas. I mean, it's the whole field of infinite information from since humankind began. Right? And even animals are connected into this. Like, how does a baby kitten, how does a kitten know how to like find milk from its mom? Like, it just knows, right? How does an infant, if you've ever seen a baby being born, if you take a baby right from mom and set baby on mom's chest, baby will immediately begin to turn towards the nipple and begin to open its mouth. It knows where food is going to come from. How does it know that? Right? It knows that from this field of information that's being processed through our DNA, through our bodies. Have you ever, you've experienced the superconscious, just FYI. Have you ever been in the shower and you're feeling that water running and you go, oh my gosh, that's it. That's the answer to the question. Have you ever been on a walk and you go, oh my gosh, that's the solution to the problem. I've got it, right? Like, where do we think that new ideas come from? And you'll hear, if you ask business innovators, if you ask inventors, if you ask scientists where their ideas come from, they will often say, I don't know, just popped into my mind. It just came to me one day, came to me in a dream, came to me in the shower, came to me when I was taking a nap, right? Like, Einstein used to get so many of his ideas when he was not at his chalkboard, right? He would consciously set an intention. I want to figure something out, right? His subconscious is now working patterns to move towards that outcome. And then oftentimes he would step away, he'd go take a nap, he'd do something else, and then the inspiration would come. The answer, the solution would come to him, not when he was focused on it, but when he had stepped away. Where did that come from? Right? It comes from this field of information. So when you're tapped into it, you can use it to realign your subconscious to align with your conscious. So you're just setting outcomes and getting them, right? And you can tap into it to get answers to your questions and solutions to your problems. You can also, just the more you're open to it, the more kind of divine inspiration that you can be open to. And when you're able to do this, I think some of the benefits of tapping into the superconscious is not just that you are able to align your subconscious patterns, your beliefs, your values, your identity with your actions and be able to create the outcomes that you want in life. But the more that you're tuned into that and you know that you can do that for yourself, you begin to create tremendous amounts of clarity, confidence, and just an ease, a knowingness, a resilience about life, that you'll be able to tap into the answers, that you'll be able to answer the questions, that you'll know exactly what it is that you want and what actions to take to create what you want. So it starts to have this this bigger effect, right? It's not just about releasing the limiting beliefs or getting answers to your questions. It's about creating a state of being, of ease, of trust, of clarity, of confidence, right? And imagine what life is like when you're operating from that perspective, right? When you've got the backing of your superconscious to let you know what's right for you, what actions to take. So I hope this was enlightening. I'm interested to hear your feedback, what you think. Is this an experience that you've had? Have you ever had those like random intuitive thoughts, the solutions that came, the answers that came? Have you been able to tap into your own intuition, your own, higher self, your super conscious, to be able to find more peace, more clarity, or more confidence in your life? So if you are interested in learning more about the field of the superconscious and how you can tap into it to create more alignment in your life, aligning your outcomes with your actions, aligning your soul with your purpose, aligning your thoughts with what it is that you want to experience, then I want to invite you to take a look at Align and Design Your Life. We deep dive into the field of the superconscious. We do some amazing meditations so that you can connect to it. And through the program, you develop your own awareness and relationship with your intuition, with your higher self, with your superconscious. And you establish a relationship with certainty, with confidence that you can't get anywhere else. I mean, this is where this certainty and confidence comes from. It comes from a connection to the collective, to your intuition, to your higher, deeper knowing. And man, when you connect into that, sky's the limit for you. It is amazing what you can accomplish in your life. Limiting beliefs fall away. Doubts, fears, and worries fall away. You're aligning your health, your relationships, your business, your spiritual life in exactly the way that you want to create it. And it's miraculous, really, what happens when you're able to do that. We see it all the time inside Align and Design Your Life. So if you're ready to really step into this next phase of your life with clarity and confidence, and with the ability to get answers to your questions, to know what action to take, and to really just feel supported in that, then come to Align and Design Your Life. The doors are open now. We accept applications, and then we interview you to see if you're a good fit for the program. So if you'd like to apply, you can go to thealignmenttribe.com/life and click any of the big yellow buttons that say apply now. You'll fill out a short application. And if we think that you're a good fit, if it seems like this is going to be the right thing for you at this point in your life, then the scheduled call that you have will continue. If we think that there's something more that we can help you with in a different way, we'll reach out to you and let you know that too. So we are here to support you in your journey of growth. We are here to help you to create the mindset, the mentality, and the emotional equilibrium that you need to create a life and a business that you love. Thank you so much for being here today. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.